Hi guys, welcome to the Zoom Phone Yealink T73 device training. Today I'm going to go over all the buttons and what they do, and we'll talk about functionality of each thing. So getting started, I'm going to talk about the screen and the programmable keys on the screen. So you guys can see this is my phone here. You're looking at on either side of the display, I do have what are called programmable keys. Those keys are going to point to a button right here. So for example, if I wanted to call this speed dial out of my phone, I could push that button to call it. You guys are going to have possibly just one page. You might have multiple pages of keys. So if my coworkers were all hidden on page 2, I could hit this button over here that's called a scroll key, and I could scroll to page 2 or 3 or whatever was needed. So just know programmable keys are just keys programmed to do a certain function, and you guys can hit this key over here to go to page 2 or 3 or whatever you like. Some keys you may have programmed on your phone would be the following. And again, this is just an example of a couple of them that you may or may not have depending on your programming. You may have park keys. We're going to go over that on the next slide, but parks are just holds you guys can pick up anywhere. So you'll notice that I have 3 on my phone. There's somebody waiting on park 801 right here. Again, that's just a universal hold. Anybody could push that button and pick it up if you guys are utilizing that. You may have buttons for coworkers. So if this said Steve on it and it was lit green, that means Steve's available. If it was lit red, like our park key is, it means that Steve's on the phone. But again, you'll be able to push a coworker button if you have them on your phone to speed dial them. Something else you may have on your phone is a page key. So if this button said page all, you could push that button to then page everybody if you needed to. Sometimes that goes over company speakers, sometimes that goes over desk phones, but it does vary and you may or may not have that feature, so I'm just kind of mentioning it. Looking more at your phone when you're actively on a call, I do want to talk about parking. So if you guys are utilizing parking, you will have multiple keys that say, park 801, 802, 803, as pictured here on the below picture. Now, when I'm on the phone here, I do have 2 ways to park the call. Just keep in mind that park is a universal hold you can pick up anywhere. So if you guys want to park a call, if it's something your organization is using, you're going to either press the park key, which is like a valet, and it will park it in the first available spot for you. So if park 801 is free, it will put it there. If it's taken like it is in the picture, it'll put it in park 802, but it will tell you, hey, your call is parked on star 802. And it's going to light that key up red. The other option you can do is you can literally just push the open park button right here and it would put it there and then it will light it red. What that does is it puts the call on hold and that will light up all of the phones within your building, and then you can call the person and tell them, hey, you get a call on park 801. So that way when they're ready, they can push the button to pick that call up. So if that's something you guys use, that's how you do it. And that's all there is to it. If they don't answer after a short time, it will recall back to you just so you can pick it up and repark them, or maybe transfer to voicemail if that person's not picking up, things like that. Other keys you guys do have are called soft keys. These are these keys here right below the display. These will change based on what you're doing, like a smartphone. So when your phone's on hook, like in the picture, your options are going to be history, directory, do not disturb, and menu. When you guys are on a call, you'll see things like transfer, hold, or conference. So talking about the things that you're going to see when your phone is on hook is the history button. If you guys push that, that's your call history. You can use this navigational pad to sort through it. The directory, if you do want to program a contact into your phone, you can press the directory button. Do not disturb will take you in and out of do not disturb, so you can push that button. You'll get like a little stop sign symbol, and then calls will route to your voicemail, and you can push it again to turn it off. And then the menu has various options, like if you need to change your ringtone, things like that. That's under the basic menu. Going over some fixed keys down here, just meaning they don't change. You have your voicemail button. So to check your voicemail, you're going to push this button. If you are a headset user and you have a headset paired with your phone, you can push that to answer the call on your headset and hang up. This is mute if you want to mute. This is that scroll key. So again, if you've got coworkers on page 2 or something like that, you can hit that button to go to page 2 on your screen. Down here, this is a navigational pad. So again, if you were like in menu, you could use that to navigate. That's enter and that's cancel. This is your volume up and down. Over here, we have a hold button and a transfer button. Down here, we have a redial button. So that'll call the last number you called. And that is the speakerphone button. So again, you can answer by lifting the handset or pressing speaker down here. Some live call features. So going into answering, transferring, all that good stuff you guys might be utilizing. So first and foremost, when a call comes in, if you want to answer it, you can lift your handset, you can press answer, or you can press speaker. If you do want to send it to voicemail, you can hit reject. It will show you who is calling. If you're a person that answers like a call group, you will also see that there. When you guys need to dial out, that is going to be area code and phone number. So think of it like cell phone dialing. You're going to dial, for example, if you're calling ServiceMark, 816-478-2000. So make sure you do include the full area code when you dial out. And obviously, if you need to call 911, it's just 911. Going into holding calls here. So again, if you want to put a call on hold, that is a personal hold. That means that you're going to pick it up. Otherwise, if you guys utilize Park, you can do the Park method we talked about earlier. But again, when I'm on the phone with a customer here and I want to put the call on hold, I just press the hold button. I can do that here or here. It's the same button. It doesn't matter. Once you do that, one of the options on your display will say resume, and you just hit resume. And again, if it's a hold for someone else and you guys utilize Park, you guys can just either press the Park key to park it for you, or you guys can press the open Park extension there and park it that way. Moving on to transferring a call, you guys can transfer calls. You can do multiple kinds of transfers. So whether you're transferring a call, what I would call blind, which means you don't announce it first, or then sending it directly to the person, or whether you're transferring directly to voicemail, you guys can do it different ways. So first we're going to talk about transfers, and that means either blind or announced. And let's go through those different ones first. So when you're on the call with a person, you're going to have the option for transfer. That is going to be a soft key here or a fixed key here. You guys can push either one. It doesn't matter which one you push. But once you do that, it's going to ask you what kind of transfer you want to do. So in this case, we're going to choose transfer to voicemail. So we just hit select. Once we hit select, because it's highlighted as transfer call, it is going to put the caller on hold. So again, I'm on the phone with Susie. I want to transfer this to Ryan. I press transfer, then I press select because it's already highlighted transfer call, and now Susie's going to go on hold. Now I can either do, again, a blind transfer or I can do a call. So if I want to send that directly to the person, I can choose blind. If I want to call them first, I can hit call, but I'm going to type in the extension number or the phone number of the person. And then, obviously I choose which one I want to do for that. If you choose to call them, after you've announced the call and you're ready to send it, just hit transfer a second time and that will complete the transfer. If you choose blind, again, that's going to disconnect you and send the caller straight there. If they don't answer, obviously it goes to their voicemail. Speaking of transferring calls to voicemail, there may be instances where you want to send a caller directly to someone's voicemail. Again, this is only for internal coworkers, but if you want to do that, you will press the transfer key. At that point, you are going to take your little navigational pad and move the highlight option down one to highlight transfer to voicemail and hit select. At that point, now the call is going to go on hold, and then you can type in the extension number of the person and then hit call, and it will literally call them and go straight to voicemail. You don't need to do anything else. Conference calling. So with these phones, you guys can conference call. If you need to do a three-way call, you can do that with the phones. If you need more than that, you'd probably do like a Zoom meeting or whatever you just use for your meetings. But in this case, I'm on the phone with this person and I want to add in someone else. I don't see conference on my main three options. So what I'm going to do is hit the more options button here. And then I'll notice that conference is going to be the first button. So when I push that, now my caller is going to go on hold and I'm going to get dial tone to dial a second number. So again, that could be an extension or an outside number. Just keep in mind, if it's an outside number, it is area code and phone number. And then once they answer that second party, then I'm going to repeat the step one I did, which is hit the dots again, and then just conference again, and we're all together. So it's just dot conference, phone number, dot conference, and everybody's all together. Voicemail. So for the defaults here, if you guys want to check your voicemail, again, you'll have a little message here, indicator light, that will tell you if you have voicemail. You guys can press the message key on your phone to access your voicemail. It will say, please enter your PIN followed by pound. At install by default, your PIN is 123654, so keep that in mind. So it'll say, please enter your PIN followed by pound. So that's 123654 pound. And then she's going to talk to you. She'll say, to listen to messages, press 1. If you have them, it'll do that. Or if you want to record your greeting, she will have option 2 to record your greeting. So if you hit option 2, she's going to guide you through recording your new greeting. Just make sure that when you do record your message, you do listen back to it and accept it after you're done, or it won't save. And then finally, for voicemail to email, if you guys get a voicemail with Zoom, it could send you a voicemail to email. So it'll say voice message from, it'll have the time and date of when that message was received. It has the attachment, so you could save that to your computer. You could forward this email to someone else, and it will also have a transcript, so you'll be able to see exactly who called and what they said. Thank you guys so much for watching.